Hey guys, Bushcraft 412 here. Today we're going to talk about silent weapons that you can use for a shit hits the fan scenario. These are just kind of real cheap, easy things. I'm going to do 2 videos in this series that you can do to kind of expand your abilities to gather game and to protect yourself and protect your home. And this first video is about the Slingshot. And before we get into this, I just want to say, if you haven't seen it yet, check out my 2,000 subscriber contest. It's up on my page. I'm going to be giving away some really cool stuff, to include a jet boil zip and some fire starters. So if you haven't entered, check it out and enter. We only had a couple of entries so far, so odds of winning at this point are really good. So get those entries in. You have 2 weeks, so it'll be a week from Sunday. We're doing the drawing on that, so please put your entries in. Alright, now the Slingshot. Unfortunately, guys, I live in New York State, and New York State is about the most crooked, backwoods, idiotic state on the planet. Not only do they restrict what firearms you can own and how big of a magazine you can have for your gun, they also restrict slingshots. I know you're saying, you gotta be kidding me. I am not even joking. In New York State, you can now own any kind of a slingshot that has a wrist brace. So all we can own are these little rinky-dink, little handheld ones. You can't buy the fancy ones that strap onto your wrist. So with that said, I wish I could get a better one, but do I really want to risk getting a ticket over a slingshot? But there are a lot of really nice, expensive slingshots out there that are very high quality and very accurate. I unfortunately just can't own them. And with that said, the slingshots are very good. I actually got into the slingshots because of Dave Canterbury. Before he was on Dual Survival, he was doing videos on YouTube, and he had a very successful channel. Still does have a very successful channel, and he did a whole series of videos about the slingshot and turning it into basically a sling bow, which you can use for hunting big game. And he also had some fishing setups where you could use it for spear fishing. Really nice setup, and he did a lot of work and some great videos on the slingshot. Now, what I want to talk to is the slingshot in terms of preppers and using it for SHTF. Now, number one, we know this is a proven way to get game. A lot of people use these for small game. There's even a guy on YouTube who has videos of taking quail with these. They're not quail, maybe pheasant with slingshots. With practice, you can get extremely accurate and take small game with it, no problem. It's cheap. You can get these things for as cheap as $5 up to $100, depending on the quality you want to pay for. Ammo is readily available, and you can get it in bulk. As you can see here, these are actually some Daisy brand ammo that I picked up from like an Army Navy store. One of these is 1/4 inch and the other is 3/8 of an inch. Those are both a little bit on the small side. You could probably get away with 1/2 inch with most slingshots. The 1/4 inch are not they don't have any power to them at all, really. I just use them to practice with. They're good practice because they're cheap. You get 250 of them for a couple of dollars, and it really helps you work on your aim. The 3/8 one only come in counts of 70. I use those more for, not so much a lot of practice, but I practice lightly with them. They're a little more expensive. And of course, if you run out of ammo, you can always use marbles or rocks that you find on the ground, ball bearings. You can use your imagination. There's a lot of ammo, almost limitless ammo for these. Now, so these not only have a way to get you food and put food on the table, because you can use it on small game, but you can also use this on fish as well, just like a spear fishing. If you can get a spear fishing rig to set up with your bow, that's great. But just shooting a 3/8 inch ball into the water near a fish is likely enough to shock it to where you can reach in, run in, and grab it before it recovers from the shock. But defending your home is another kind of neat little thing. Say you are, it's a shit hits the fan scenario, and there's somebody in your backyard and you don't know what the hell they're doing, and maybe you don't want to kill them because you don't know what their intentions are. You take a couple shots at them with a slingshot, they're likely to go running, and it's a silent weapon. There's no noise. It's not going to attract attention. It's a great little silent weapon to kind of get people away from you or scare them off. Now, however, the slingshot is a very lethal weapon. If you hit somebody in the chest or you hit somebody in the head, you can very potentially kill them. You should not play around with these. They're not toys. You can very easily fracture someone's skull, give them a subdural hematoma, or even just stop their heart from hitting them in the chest. Some of these slingshots have a lot of power, and with heavy ammo, they are really a dangerous weapon. And I think if you're a prepper, for how cheap these are, just being a couple of dollars, it never hurts to stock up on 5 or 10 of these, because these are a great renewable resource when it comes to gathering game and protecting yourself. No, it's not anywhere nearly as efficient as a gun, but if you're just looking to scare someone off or something like that, it could really come in handy. And they're just cheap, great items to get. And if you're really into gathering wild game with it, check out Dave Canterbury's videos on the sling bow, or just do a YouTube search on sling bow, and there's a ton of videos out there with people making them and using them, and they're actually a fascinating little piece of gear. They're not literally legal to hunt with, but it's great knowledge to have in a shit hits the fan scenario. And wanted to share that, and just share this neat little cheap piece of gear that you can stack up on.